Welcome to the League of Nerds comic book segment number 142. I'm John Cooney here to talk to you about comics released the 8th of October 2014, beginning as usual with my first 5, meaning these are the first 5 books I intend to read this week, and I'll give you a little more depth on them, starting with at number 1, Batman number 35. From the superstar creative team that brought you a new start to the Caped Crusader comes the story that could end him. Be here in October for the biggest, deadliest, and most epic story yet from writer Scott Snyder and artist Greg Capullo. Batman Endgame begins here. Series writer Scott Snyder was reluctant to provide any details. Quote, Greg and I have been talking about it for a while, but I don't want to give anything away about it. I really want it to speak for itself. I feel like I always come out and hype stories, and this time I think it's just one of those things where I'd just love for you to come see what we have in store for the 75th. And you should know that if you think that we try to go big most of the time in general, and we're pretty ambitious for the 75th, if you think we're going to go small or doesn't have the biggest cast we've ever used and the biggest cataclysmic events that we've ever used, then you don't know us as a team. I want it to be a surprise, but I can tell you, I don't want to tease fans, I don't want to hurt fans or make them worry about us leaving. It's not meant to be an indication that this is the last story that Greg and I will do. We've always felt that along the way we would stay as long as fans really want us. This is definitely one of those stories that I felt we have to do this one before we die. So there's an element of like, thank God we're getting to do it, and I could leave the book happy at having done this. And there are a couple more I really want to do with big bads and stuff like that, but this is definitely one on our hit list. Close quote. At number 2, we've got Amazing Spider-Man number 7, Peer Over the Edge of Spider-Verse. Spidey teams up with Ms. Marvel in a high-flying, well, stepping in Kamala's case, adventure. Who is Spider UK and what does he have to do with Spider-Verse? Series writer Dan Slott spoke about the similarities of Kamala and Peter. Quote, Kamala is the closest character to classic Peter Parker in the entire Marvel Universe. It feels like classic Spider-Man. It's that good. Close quote. He went on to say, quote, also we're going to introduce, on top of Spider-Verse using every Spider-Man there's ever been, we're also making some guys up. You'll get some all-new spiders. One of my favorites is the Spider-Man of Otherworld, the Spider-Man of the Captain Britain Corps, Spider-Man UK. Some of the fun of Spider-Verse is that there will be Spider-Man for you, no matter who you love. Close quote. At number 3, we've got Batgirl number 35. Barbara Gordon is no stranger to dusting herself off when disaster strikes, so when a fire destroys everything she owned, she spots the opportunity for a new lease on life and seizes it. Following the rest of Gotham's young adults to the hip border district of Burnside, Barbara sets about building an all-new Batgirl and discovers all-new threats preying on her peers. It's a reinvention of Batgirl from the boots up by the incredible creative team of Cameron Stewart, Brendan Fletcher, and rising star Babs Tarr. Series co-writer Cameron Stewart explained the new take on Batgirl, quote, Batgirl has really been put through the ringer in recent years. After being attacked and paralyzed by the Joker, her brother turning out to be a serial murderer, the trauma of her family breaking apart, and the series of gruesome villains she's had to contend with, we figured she deserved a break from all that. Just prior to the start of our story, she's pushed to the breaking point and decides that she's had it with misery and darkness and wants to change. She wants the opportunity to have some fun and live the life of a young, single girl in the city. So she packs up and moves to Burnside, the cool, trendy borough of Gotham, to focus on grad school. Close quote. But Stewart also reassures longtime fans, quote, we're very honored to be following the crazy large footsteps of Gail Simone on this title, who in the minds of most is the definitive Batgirl writer. Coming after a writer of her talent and popularity, we would be crazy to ignore her mark on the character. Fans of the current run can rest easy knowing that it's not a complete reboot. Alicia Yao still plays a role in Barbara's life, though from across the river in Gotham. Close quote. At number 4, we've got Avengers and X-Men Access number 1 of 9, Act 1, The Red Supremacy. The Red Skull has exploited the gifts of the world's greatest telepath to broadcast pure hatred across the globe. Now born of the murder of Charles Xavier, World War Hate has begun. Tony Stark discovers a secret truth that will upend not only his life, but also the lives of everyone he cares for. Can the Avengers and X-Men finally unite? Would their combined strength be enough to hold back the darkness of the Red Onslaught? Magneto murdered the wrong man, releasing the greatest evil the Marvel Universe has ever known. Now Rogue and Scarlet Witch are all that stand in its way. Series writer Rick Remender described the development of the story, quote, I've talked about it at a number of retreats and definitely developed it as I was pitching it to the room. Right before I was ready to start doing it, a lot of other editors and people in the room thought that, hey, that would make for a good story to be a little bigger, and I liked that idea, so I pushed for it to be something bigger. It started off as one thing and then became another and then another. I had so many ideas for it that it became a 9-issue thing that I'm really proud of. It's got a lot of heart and a ton of fun and a lot of big bombastic action, and I think fans of my stuff will be satisfied by it." Close quote. At number 5, we've got Exo Manowar number 0. Lock missiles and zero in on the can't-miss origin of Eric of Dacia, aka Exo Manowar. After narrowly surviving the events of Armor Hunters, Exo Manowar, or what's left of him, must look to the future, but to do so, Eric must first learn the startling secrets of his past. Be here in October and learn the true violent origin of Visigoth life under the brutality of the Roman Empire. Series writer Robert Venditti shared his thoughts on the issue. Quote, "Exo Manowar as a series is really about two things, the armor and the man inside the armor. Really, there's a potential for two kinds of Zero issues there. You could have one about where the armor comes from. We haven't completely revealed that, but we built into that a lot with the Armor Hunters arc. The Zero issue, which will be coming out after the Armor Hunters arc wraps up, we're going to look at the man inside the armor. We've done it in bits and pieces through flashbacks, but this is going to focus solely on Eric as he's 16 years of age, seeing what life is like for him as a Visigoth the first time he went into battle, exploring that and seeing how he became who he is now. I feel like it's a very honest look at the character. I don't think anyone is born into the world being an expert swordsman. We're going to see Eric as a teenager, very fragile and unsure of himself on the battlefield to the point where he's physically ill at the level of violence that he sees humanity committing. But because of the time he grew up, there was no choice but for him to pick up a sword. His life, his family's life, the life of the entire Visigoth culture depended on it. He had to learn how to become a warrior, and it's about how much extreme conflict and violent circumstances can not only reveal the kind of person that you are, but also reveal the kind of person that you aren't. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm working on it with Clay Mann, and it's a story that I've wanted to write for a very long time. It felt like the right time to do it coming out of Armor Hunters." Close quote. Rounding out the top 10 at number 6, we've got Batman Eternal number 27. In the grips of martial law, the criminal underground is going berserk, and the only person who can stop it is Catwoman. At number 7, we've got Rocket Raccoon number 4. The fur flies. Rocket and his dangerous doppelganger face off. Betrayed, ensnared like some kind of terrestrial rodent, Rocket comes face to face to face to face to face with a few of the folks who want him dead. Can everyone's favorite gunslinging guardian of the galaxy make it out alive and clear his name? At number 8, we've got Thief of Thieves number 24. As the kill list marches towards its conclusion, somebody's got to die. At number 9, we have Avengers number 36. In 7 months, time runs out. At number 10, we've got Astro City number 16, a Vertigo Defy covers issue. Once upon a time, in a small idyllic town, there was a teen superhero named Starbright. But once was a long time ago. Find out what became of Starbright and his greatest foe, and what their entwined destinies hold for the future of Astro City. For the best of the rest from DC Comics, we've got FBP, Federal Bureau of Physics number 14, a Vertigo Defy covers issue. Every journey starts with a single step. Cicero started when he crashed into a TV repair shop and eventually landed in the FBP Academy. This special 2-part story features art by cover artist Nathan Fox and Alberto Ponticelli. Next, we have Justice League United number 5. This issue spotlights the newest member of the team, Equinox of the Moose Cree First Nation. As a rite of passage, Equinox must take down a mystical beast that's terrorizing her people. We've also got Klarion number 1. Klarion the Witch Boy makes his new 52 debut and stands for the forces of chaos in this new ongoing series. And we've got new Suicide Squad number 3. Enough is enough. The tensions and anger have been building and they can no longer be held back. It's Harley versus Joker's daughter and an all-out brawl through the streets of Moscow. Meanwhile, Deadshot has been captured by the Russians and is being tortured for information. How can things get any worse? Deadshot's about to find out. From Marvel, we've got All New Ultimates number 9, the deadliest battle of the Super Street War. The all-new Ultimates battle the white supremacist meth-head militia, the Watchdogs. Will Scourge break free from prison and continue his bloodthirsty mission to rid New York City of all costume crusaders? The team's ultimate nemesis finally strikes, and the team will never be the same again. Next, we have Miracleman number 12. Garth Guns' final two subjects, Rebecca and Lear, revealed at last. The origin of Miraclewoman. Enter the Warpsmiths. Book 3 continues, and Aphrodite includes material originally presented in Miracleman number 12, plus bonus content. We've also got Nightcrawler number 7, Death of Wolverine Aftermath. Not so long ago, Nightcrawler was dead. Now with the second lease on life, Nightcrawler struggles to find his place back in the land of the living. But now that his best friend Wolverine has taken his place in the afterlife, that struggle just got a lot more difficult, and he may just find his solace in the last place he or you would imagine. And we've got Thanos, a god up there listening, number 1 of 4. At the close of Infinity, Thane discovered he was the son of Thanos and that his touch was death. Now accompanied by the constantly whispered advice of the Ebony Maw, he wants to discover his father's history and his own future. From Dynamite Entertainment, we've got Terminal Hero number 3. Now in the United States, the nightmares keep coming for one-time terminal case Rory Fletcher. In desperation, he leaves Rory Fletcher behind and assumes a new identity, which comes with ready-made beautiful wife and cute kids. All seems well until visitors from his past life, and a horrific reminder of his cancer, threaten to destroy his newfound happiness. Meanwhile, back in England, nervous Manesh and beautiful damaged Mia get dangerously mixed up with the strange treatment Q. From IDW Publishing, we've got Star Trek New Visions Volume 3 Cry Vengeance. John Byrne continues his Star Trek photo novel adventures with 2 tales for the price of 1, as the crew of the Starship Enterprise faces a menace 3 million years in the making, plus something more recent but no less deadly, presenting a follow-up to the classic episode The Doomsday Machine, as well as Robot, a brand new tale of murder and mystery. From Image Comics, we've got Punks the Comic number 1. Dog, Skull, Fist, and Abe Lincoln live in a house, beat the out of each other, and frequently humiliate themselves. There's bleeding and sadness. Morrissey would likely approve. The cult hit comedy returns with new stories and a classic in the back. From Eisner Harvey nominees Joshua Fialkov and Cody Chamberlain. From Valiant Entertainment, we've got the Death-Defying Dr. Mirage number 2 of 5. Descent in peril, leaving her mortal body in deadly danger, the spirit of Dr. Mirage is about to enter the afterlife's web of worlds and begin the fight to win back a partner she thought she'd lost forever. But enemies lie in wait everywhere, and while demons and beasts besiege Mirage in the spirit world, an unexpected new eruption of evil threatens her life on Earth. Out in trades, we've got The Walking Dead All-Out War Artist Proof Edition hardcover. This special edition collects the monumental All-Out War story arc all in one volume, as seen through artist Charlie Adler's raw pencils. Read the story in a whole new way, never before collected together in one single volume. Collects The Walking Dead number 115 through 126. We've also got Batman Noir The Long Halloween hardcover. This landmark 14-issue epic is collected in a brand new Noir edition that spotlights the artwork of Tim Sale as the Dark Knight hunts a mysterious serial killer who strikes only on holidays. Includes appearances by Catwoman, Poison Ivy, Two-Face, the Joker, and many of Batman's greatest foes. And we've got Hawkeye Volume 3 LA Woman trade paperback. Kate Bishop heads to Los Angeles to get away from New York, life, and Clint Barton, but she can't escape trouble because Madame Mask is hanging out poolside with the rich and famous as well. As Kate helps a reclusive and 60s damaged pop music genius find his lost masterpiece, Madame Mask finds Kate, by which we mean starts trying to kill her again. This one has it all. Characters, plot, story, dialogue, theme, meaning, message, action, a little explosion, fire, arrows, criminals, neighbors, large bodies of water, clients, cops who don't care, a system that victimizes the victims, the dog, in a broken town where cynicism and apathy has its claws around the throat of the good and decent. Lady Hawkeye is the only hero you can trust. Collecting Hawkeye number 14, 16, 18, 20, and annual number 1. Okay, so that's just a few of my favorite books out this week. There's still plenty of others available, so I broke out all the Marvel titles this week in their own video, as well as a separate video for all of DC, and even a video with the top independent publishers, and you can find them all on my YouTube channel at he'sgotissues.com. And we'll also have the links up on the leagueofnerds.com, our Facebook page, so be sure to like us there too. And of course, you can follow everything I'm reading on Facebook, Pinterest, Tumblr, or Twitter. You can find links to everything in the About section at he'sgotissues.com. And a reminder that both He's Got Issues and the League of Nerds are proud members of the Comics Podcast Network. So until next week, I'm John Cooney. and I've got issues.